Right now, it's Sandra here from CREATEINSPAIN, and today I am having playtime. This is not my normal card making, this is me just having some fun, playing around, having an experiment and seeing what I come up with. So I decided I fancied doing some keychain designs. So I have got these little pieces here which I've designed and I cut with my Nomad. So this is just a 4mm plywood, and I just did a pocket cut and a hole and cut the outside shape. So this is really cheap to do. You know, if you've got scraps of wood left over, you could make it out of anything. It doesn't make any difference. It's not a hard thing to design, and I'll share the file anyway, what the heck. So the first thing I want to do is to actually waterproof this completely. And because I want to do that, I am going to use some of this stuff, which is a UV gel. It is basically going to make sure that nothing can get into my piece of wood and make it go all soggy. And at the same time, it's so quick to use because this is cured with a UV lamp that I don't have to wait around for things to dry. So I just have a little nail lamp here, and that's what I'm going to be using. I have a plastic bag which was in my bin because that's what I'm going to use to put my my craft gel on, in order to use it just as a palette. So I'm just putting a little bit down on there at a time, and I'm just going to take a brush and brush over the entire outside. I don't need to do the inside because that's going to be coated at some stage anyway, it's going to be filled. But I want to make sure that the outside of it is waterproofed. I'm going to move my lamp away from the rest of my gel and just shove it under the lamp for a minute. It's got a timer, so while that one's doing, I can do the next one. Now the next thing that I have here are some paints. Now these are Jacquard Lumiere. So these things are actually dual colours, and if they're put on a dark surface you will certainly see that. Probably won't see too much of the dual colour, but they're nice pearlised paints in any case, but they do need a very good shake up before they're used. Okay, so this one being the Halo Blue Gold, just going to put a little bit, whoops, not too much, a little bit of paint in there and simply get a small brush and go around the base. That's all I need to do. Don't need to put it anywhere else. If it goes at the sides it's okay, but I don't need to, because everything is going to be reflected when the contents are in there. This is the Violet Gold. Lovely colour. There we go, so that's that one. So I'm going to let those dry before I go any further. When you're doing this kind of thing, you want to make it up in layers. So when they're dry, I'll put in a layer of the UV gel. You can literally put it in straight from the bottle, just let it settle. And then you can put in some chunky glitter, beads, whatever it is that you want to actually put into it. And you build it up layer by layer. Don't forget to clean your brush off. I generally use 98% alcohol to do it. Because if you do, of course, and you leave your brush in daylight, it'll end up rather solid. And that won't be too easy to clean out. You can probably dissolve it in acetone, but it'll take a while. So when you're building these things up, and I cheated, I have dried this off with a hairdryer because I'm impatient. You can start to build things up, but you want to go from large items to small ones. Now I don't think I'm going to use these beads because I think they're a little bit too big for something quite that small, but I do have some nice chunky glitters. So the first thing to do is just put a little layer in the base. if you happen to have them in lovely little containers like this, it does make them a lot easier to put in. This time you want to put a reasonably generous layer on. Try and make sure you don't get bubbles in it. But if you do get bubbles, prick them with a pin before they get set. And you can use a cocktail stick to make sure that things are in the place that you want them, or that the gel has gone to the edges. Just in case there's a little dry area, you can move things like that. And then I will put those under the lamp for 60 seconds. And I will use the round ones on this one here. And under the lamp for another minute. So you build up your layers like that, making sure to top off with an empty layer of the gel. Now do make sure that when you're doing this you keep the lid on your UV gel, because it doesn't like being in the light. Well, it does, but it wants to set if it's in the light, and you don't want to ruin the rest of the bottle. But other than that, it's very, very simple to do. When you put the last layer on, you want to put in plenty of gel to give it that lovely plump, rounded, domed look. So here are the three that I've made. This one was the first I made, and when I cut it, for some reason, I must have not checked the tool path and it cut all the way through. But what I did was I put some foil on the back and allowed it to take that up. Now, it's not your normal foil. For those who are familiar with nail foils, that's the type of foil it is. It's transfer foil. And basically, when you put some UV gel on and you cure it, the backing paper will come away and you're left with the foil. Now, this is the correct side of the foil, as it happens. And on the other side, it was this lovely pinky colour. So that's the colour I chose to have, because it was going to give me that pinky background as well. So that was the first one, and then these, as you saw, I just did the pocket cut as I originally intended, and I really like this greeny goldy one best, which is strange because I don't normally like green. Very, very strange for me. But I think they make some fun key fobs, or you could even make different shapes for earrings or a pendant, or anything like that. And if you have a business, for example, you could do a key ring shape for whatever your business is. Could be a house or a motorbike outline or a car outline or something. And you could just fill it with a plain coloured gel, or just paint the base and put a clear gel over the top. You don't have to use glittery things. I did, because I like it, and why not? But there's all sorts of things you could do. You could do initials, you could do whole names. This is ideal if you just want to use up scraps, or if you're like me and you have a Nomad and you do small projects, craft things, then this is great. If you've got a bigger CNC, then this is just for using up the scraps from your bigger projects and just having a play, basically. So there we are. Hope you've enjoyed that. I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.